In this lesson, we will talk about looping constructs. You have already learned about conditional constructs such as if else, and the switch statement. Those allow you to conditionally execute statements based on a Boolean condition, decide if you want to execute some statements or not. Looping constructs, on the other hand, allow you to do repetitive execution, to execute a set of statements over and over again and stop when a specific condition is met. There are three looping constructs that we will learn about today, and those are the simple while loop, the alternative do while loop, and lastly the for loop. So let's say we wanted to print the numbers 0 through 9 using a loop. Let's see how we would do that in a while loop. To do this, you would type. So let's talk about what this is doing. So you have a new keyword called while. There's a Boolean condition within parentheses which says do the body of the while loop while I is less than 10. In the body of the while loop, which is included in curly braces, we're using the printf method to print an integer value of I, followed by a tab. And the next statement is we increment I. Right? So every iteration of the loop, you're incrementing the value of I, checking if it's still less than 10, and printing its value. So another thing we may want to do is at the end of the loop, we would want to put a new line character. Just so after the very last number, we would end at a nice new line. So let's see what happens. We'll save this file, and then we would compile it, and let's run it. There you have it. It prints 0 through 9, followed by tabs, and prints a nice new line at the end. So let's convert this into the second type of loop, which is called a do while loop. To do this, put do, and then you'd move while to the end, and put a semicolon at the end of that. So let's talk about what's happening here. Here, the loop is doing one iteration followed by the check. So the first iteration would happen regardless. Unlike the while loop, which checks the condition first and does the first iteration. So let's run this one. There. So the last looping construct is the for loop, and let's see how we would do the same thing with a for loop. So for the for loop, we would type. All right, so let's see what's going on here. So the for loop allows you to initialize the loop variable, check for a condition. So if the condition is true, it continues doing the iterations, and then allows you to specify a statement that you do at the end of every iteration. So here we're just using it to increment the value of I. So it's a very useful looping construct when you are using a counter such as this to loop over the various iteration. We can simplify it a little further by actually initializing our variable right within the for loop. It allows us to do that, so we can just do int here, and we can get rid of it here, right? So that variable I is only going to be available for the duration of the loop. Perfect. Let's clean up a little bit more, and let's see how this runs. There. So those are the three looping constructs.